tracks. Let's talk music.
Oh yeah, it's Robbie from Chatting Tracks. How you doing? I'm so glad you're joining me today on this Sunday afternoon, just having a quick chat. So, I've got no script for anything. I've literally just come on. I'm just going to talk about stuff that's really annoyed me. So, yesterday was Record Store Day. For people that don't know what that is, it's basically record company. So, back in the day, record stores were struggling a little bit. So, they had an idea that they're going to do a special day where you could only get certain vinyls from certain places. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to go to the record shop to pick up a release by an artist that you can't get either the rest of the year or at all. You could only get this one day, and that's the idea. People would go to record shops and they'd buy the records, and then it would keep the records afloat. Started about 2007 is when it started. It's normally in April, and the idea was it would start the year, and the record people would come around each year and then buy some more records. So at least once every April, you would get people buying stuff. So I just thought I'd come and talk about Record Store Day because it's a bit of a bittersweet subject for me. I sort of like it and I don't like it all at the same time. And here's why. I really like the idea that you can get records that day that you can't get anywhere else. That's really, really cool. So you're basically supporting the record shop and you can get something fresh that you've not got before because, record companies, they'll just trot out loads of the same stuff all the time and they don't care what they're giving you. They just give you a load of stuff. But with Record Store Day, you were getting something special, like whether it's a live concert or it's like an album full of demos and bits and bobs like that. But it does have its downsides, and that's the problem with Record Store Day. It does have its downsides. So this is what we need to look at, and this is why I thought I'd come on and just talk about it for a little bit, because it really does annoy me, to be fair, a little bit. So I went today it's Sunday, so pretty much all the good stuff's normally gone by now, but I managed to pick up a John Lennon one. So I picked this up, which is the John Lennon Yoko Ono. Oh, you can see my stuff in the background there. Power to the People. It's a live concert from 1972 in New York. So it's John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. Anyone that knows me I love the Beatles and Bowie and that sort of stuff. And this one I've not seen before. The downside is sometimes what they'll do is they'll release these records like on Record Store Day, and then 6 months later they'll just release it anyway, and you can get it from the shop. So you sort of rush to buy it, and then you can pick it up later. And I'm sure this will be on Spotify if I had a proper good look anyway. So it's a nice idea that you go along and then you support record shops and bits like that. And it's a worldwide event now. It's in China, Australia, and Japan. And it's just basically to boost sales. That's all it's about. Now, here's the downside of this stuff, and this is the bit what I've come on to talk about, is the fact of the commercialism of how it works now. So like I say, originally the idea was you could go along and get a record and you could pick it up, and it's for collectors and music lovers and to drive people into the stores. But along with that becomes greed and commerce. Obviously, people come along and think, hang on a minute, there's money to be made there. So one of the records that came out, so this is Queen 1. This is the remix album that came out at the end of last year, which I did a video on. So Queen 1 is basically the original Queen album. They've cleaned it up, altering the vocals. There's a whole world of conversation with this one we could talk about, to be fair. But so this one was one of those records that come out. Now, this album was recorded in lots of different studios. When Queen started out, they had no money, so they were just basically going everywhere and anywhere to make money and stuff like that. So what they were doing was they were studio hopping. That's what they were doing, using lots of different studios all over the place. And one of them was Delaney Studios in London, which isn't there anymore, which is a real shame, because that would have been a great little time capsule museum. But anyway, so they were going around recording. Anyway, so on this album and on the box set, you've got the Delaney demo versions of those albums. So what you can do is, I've got up there, I've got a not Pink Floyd, I've got Fleetwood Mac's first album with Lindsey Buckingham, which is called Fleetwood Mac. And it's basically the demo versions of the album and all the tracks, not polished up, bits missing, bits here and there, and all that sort of stuff. And it's a real lovely work in progress version of the album where you can hear where they were going with it and where they were aiming at. But it's great to have as an appendant with that one. And you can also get the same thing on Spotify. If you go on Spotify, the album's on there as well, which is fine. But it's one of those things where, with like I was saying just now, you get commerce and you get greed that comes with this sort of stuff. So generally, the record stores open early in the morning to sell the records. So the average price of the records, unless it's a double or coloured vinyl, you're looking between £30, maybe up to £50. So you have got quite a bit of money to spend. So that John Lennon one was about 30 quid. So you got between 30 and 50 quid to spend if you want to get a record, which record collectors will do. They don't care and that sort of stuff. Now, let's say for argument's sake, the record shop opened at 7 in the morning. So what happened to me once was I I was standing in the record shop. I got up early one day. I for some reason I couldn't sleep. It wasn't even doing anything. I just got up early. I thought, it's record store day. I go and see what's down there. And I was standing in the queue, and it was probably 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. I think the record shop opened at 8, and people were just chatting and drinking tea and all that sort of stuff. And like someone was in the queue, because you get a pre-list of what's going to be on it. You always get a pre-list anyway, what's going to be on that. And someone was on there, and they were basically putting the record on eBay before we'd even got through the door. And they were already trying to sell it. So, like I say, yesterday morning, let's say for argument's sake, a record shop opened at 8 o'clock in the morning, or say 7. Let's say 7. Let's give it an hour and a half. Well, already this Queen one is already up there. Look, as you can see, like Queen doing demos, right, 73 quid already. Right. So this is 20 past 8 in the morning. I was going to work, so there you can go. It's 20 past 8, and then and then you've got 55, 60 quid there, and then you've got 94 quid on the bottom. And I bet you any money, these people were putting this on there before they even bought the record. I bet you any money that's what they were doing. Now, some people say, well, record stores put it on there, but they don't, because it's not the idea of it. The idea is to bring the custom into the shop, not to send it out. So someone definitely did that way before they even got the record. And this is the problem I've got with Record Store Day, is that this kind of like greed and corruption goes on with people that just genuinely love music. Like, when you love music, you'll pay money, and people know that. That's why they're doing this crap on eBay. Now, this was yesterday morning, which will be Saturday morning. I've not even looked at it today. I bet it's way more than that. I bet it's gone up now. They've been bidding, and I think it's just disgusting that these things happen, because it's not fair when you love something to tout it like that. Now, have I got a solution? I think I've got a solution, but I don't think anyone's going to follow it. What I think they should do is, I think they should have a system to make more money, to drive more people into the record shops. Is what they should do is they should have a system where you have to buy a minimum of 5 records throughout the year. That's what you have to do. You have to physically go in the record shop, and you get a bit of card for Record Store Day, whether it's like, so it's 2025 now, whether it's for 2026, I'd have to go in there between now and say next April, and I'd have to get a card stamped to say I bought 5 products from that shop, right? So you go in, you buy your product, you get your stamp, and then that way they can take it. And so when it gets to like today, like Record Store Day, when you walk in and go, I want that Queen record, they go, where's your card? Right? So that way you can't buy it unless you've been to the record shop. So if you've got to buy 5 throughout the year, even if it's a £5 record, that's still a £5 record that will help a record shop out, isn't it? The way I see it, it's still something that will help. So I think they should have a system of carding or an app or something like that, and you scan the app and say, like, I bought this record. I suppose the only downside if you scan an app is that you could go into a record shop and just scan things. So you'd have to have the record shop like sign or stamp it privately to say you've been there like 5 times or something like that, so they know you've actually been in that shop. And I think that's the fairest way of doing it, because not only would you do that, you would drive out people that are just buying records for greed and like eBay money and just being arseholes about it. You drive all them away, and what you would do is you get people that genuinely love music collecting get a chance to get their hands on these records. Because there was a post I saw of this young girl, and she'd been like camping out at midnight, and she didn't look like a vinyl buyer to me. She looked like someone that was going, I'm going to get some money here. So it looks like that's what they were doing. So I think this is why they need to clean this up a little bit. I've heard Paul Weller doesn't get involved in it because he knows this stuff goes on and he doesn't like it. Like I don't like it. And I think this stuff needs cleaning up. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I think they need a system. They need a 5-point system where you have to buy 5 records a year, which would generate more money for the record shop. And then when they want to go in and spend £300 on that one day, they've got 300 quid plus more that they've got. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea, or what ideas you've got to beat Record Store Day and all this sort of eBay stuff, which is driving me insane. I just hate it. I was amazed I got that record today, the John Lennon one. I thought that was definitely going to be gone, and there was sort of Bowie one in there, but it was a little bit out of my price range I wanted to spend, and I was amazed those 2 things were still sitting there, because they're all over eBay already. Like Bowie, anything with Bowie in it, the Doors, anything like that, just instantly the price rockets right up to the top. So I'm amazed it was on there. Anyway, so yeah, I just thought I'd come on and talk about it for a little bit. I'd love to know your thoughts on Record Store Day. What do you like it? Do you not like it? What records have you bought recently that are on there, and did they get released, and did you pay way over the odds that you think you should have done for it as well? And should they ban eBay from selling Record Store Day records? I think they should. I think there should be a limit on it so they can't sell it. That's what I think they should do. Anyway, so I've been working on my website a little bit while I'm here. So if you want to head over soon and have a look at that, I'll put a link in the description of that. I've got some new articles on there, like the 5 rock drummers that changed music, because I wanted to get into writing some more articles, because I've got a website, and then I realised I never used it and I was paying money for it, so I thought I've got to start integrating that a little bit. So I'm starting to write articles that I'm making videos of in there as well, so you can do both on that. So you want to check that as well. That'd be absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it's just it's just one of those things that really, really annoys me. And I think we need to do something about it proactively, because eventually, you know, records are now the biggest selling media there is. CDs are really shooting up, by the way. And so is FLAC audio. So those two things are really shooting up. So eventually vinyl will have a decline, and the decline will become because of greed. That's what will happen. They'll be too expensive. You won't be able to go in and buy anything. You'll only get them on eBay and pay way over the odds, and then you won't bother. Like I say about, they sometimes release them later. Anyway, I've got a Pearl Jam one in there as well. There was one for Record Store Day, I think it was 4 years ago. It was Pearl Jam Unplugged, one of my favourite bands. And then, you know, a year later they released it as a standard vinyl, and I've got it anyway. So it's one of those things where they do these things, you think, no, why do I worry about doing it? But anyway, yeah, so that's just me talking about that. It just gives me the ump, it really, really does. If you can subscribe to my channel while you're here, if you're a first-time person, that'd be amazing. As you can see just down there, did I get this right? Yeah, down there. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. It turns out 70% of the people that watch this channel don't actually subscribe to it. They watch it and they don't. But so I want to get bigger guests. So the idea is if I get more subscribers, when someone looks at it, they go, oh, he's got a lot of followers, I'll definitely go on there. So the idea is to get you bigger and better guests as well, and just give you more variety on the stuff. So that'd be brilliant. So yeah, if you can give me a cheeky subscribe, that would be absolutely phenomenal. I really appreciate that. Anyway, I thought I'd just come on and talk about Record Store Day and how it annoys me and how much I do love it at the same time. It's a real sort of yes and no thing to me. I think it's amazing. Anyway, yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think. Subscribe if you can, and I'd love to know your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next one. Love and peace.